In these last several months, weeks and days, even hours and minutes, we're seeing a lot of chaos with us black folks. I'm telling you, we cannot get along as a people. We have gotten so far away from Yahuwah's word, his commandments, his obedience, that we can't even hear him anymore. A lot of our people are perishing. A lot of our people are being destroyed. A lot of people are being unalived or even just taken out before their time because of disobedience. You know, in Leviticus 26:19, it says, it gives a stern warning from Yahuwah to the Israelites about the consequences of persistent pride and disobedience. This verse specifically addresses the stubbornness and refuses to listen to Yahuwah's command. Now, we have read throughout the Old Testament, and it talks a lot about it at the very beginning. If you read the book of Jubilee, you read the book of Jasher, and even if you read Deuteronomy, it talks about how we are a stiff-necked people. A people that don't want to listen, don't want to follow the commands of Yahuwah. And in Deuteronomy 28, it talks about the blessings if you're obedient to him, and you talk about the curses. And of course, the curses that we're still experiencing. I know a lot of people saying the curse has been over since 2019, but we're still dealing with the psychological curses. We're still dealing with the mental curses. We're still dealing with the emotional curses. We're still dealing with all the curses, even though we're not even in slavery, but a lot of us are slave of the mind, slave of the soul, slave of the spirit, because we don't want to do anything what Yahuwah commands us. So in Leviticus 26:19, it says, I will break down your stubborn pride. I will make the sky above you like iron, and it will not rain. I will make the ground under you like bronze, and you will not be able to farm it. This verse is a warning from Yahuwah to the Israelites about the consequences of the pride and disobedience. You know, Yahuwah gave the Israelites power over the nations, but they became proud of it and perverted its intentions. Yahuwah broke their pride by making the sky unyielding and the earth hard, which made it impossible to farm. The Israelites' strength would be spent in vain because their soil would not yield its crops, nor would the trees of their land yield their fruit. We're seeing a lot. The imaginary emphasis, the total nature of the curse, it affects both the heavens and the earth, leaving no part of life untouched. So we're seeing that. We're seeing that with our people, especially now. And I'm not even in the Democratic or Republican Party. You know, I've always been an independent, and I've always been on Yahuwah's side. I always stand on the values of what Yahuwah stands on. Because, you know, when we stand before Yahuwah, we're going to be held accountable. Our life is going to testify before him. And he's going to judge us based on his word. And a lot of these pastors are leading the people straight to hell. I'm going to say it. I'm going to stand 10 toes down on it. There's a lot of foolishness going on. These people, we know who they are. I don't even have to say their names. They're leading people right into the slaughter. We have people that just hate. We have people that hate just even in our own community. Even in our own community. You can hate a person just because they have nice hair. You can hate a person. I remember I used to get a lot of hate because of the color of my skin, because I was light-skinned, what they say, red bone. I would get a lot of hate from people that were dark-skinned. I did nothing to them, but we would get hate in our own community. We're the only community that can hate on each other on the internet. We can hate on each other in public. We will hate on each other no matter what, and we're a spectacle to other nations. And other nations are laughing at us. Other nations are prospering off of our hate for one another. They come into our black neighborhoods. The Arabs, the Asians, the Hispanics come into our own black neighborhoods, and they put up shop. They put up the hair stores. I mean, you know it's got to be sad when you have a black hair store ran by Asians and there's no black hair in the store. And black women and black men are buying the Brazilian hair, the Indian hair, the Asian hair. And a lot of them are being sacrificed to their gods. And as we just found out, a lot of chemicals are inside this hair that causes cancer. But the people won't listen. They're going to continue doing it because they're going to say, well, it's my hair. I'm going to keep buying the hair. I'm going to put the wigs on. I'm going to advertise it. I'm going to advertise the lashes. I'm going to advertise the BBLs. I'm going to advertise everything. And they don't even understand the consequences of their decisions. Aren't you tired of being disobedient towards Yahuwah? Aren't you worried about when you die, you're going to stand before him and give account to your life? And if you're listening to all this foolishness that's going on in the news and not getting into the word and spending intimate time with him, Yahuwah is going to be dealing with each and every person. You can see the atmosphere has shifted. When you get to a point where people are getting more wicked and wicked and wicked, they can't hear to sound doctrines. They listen to doctrines of devils, and that's what we're hearing. So I'm going to end with this. Hosea 4 and 6. And I'm going to read this off the Amplified Bible. It says, my people are destroyed for a lack of knowledge of my law where I reveal my will. Because you, the priestly nation, have rejected knowledge, I will also reject you from being my priest. Since you have forgotten the law of your Yahuwah, I will also forget your children. It's time to repent. It's time to repent from your wicked ways. It's time to renounce all these sororities and fraternities and all these Messianic pledges that is being done. It's time to repent of fornication and of adultery. It's time to repent of doing drugs and alcohol. It's time to repent of incest, molestation, rape. It's time to repent of all the sins knowingly and unknowingly that is happening. It's time to turn your hearts back to Yahuwah, because once you die, then it's the judgment. And then your life will testify against you. And you will be judged as a people separately, because you were chosen to represent him.